Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Great Canadian ASMR Podcast. I am your host, Mike Crimmins. Joined alongside me, why don't you introduce yourself?
I'm Gregory Seymour.
And I am Seth Wiseman.
Thank you for joining me today, gentlemen. We have a very special podcast for you today, where we'll be going through our favorite ASMR sounds. One of my personal favorites is the salt shaker.
Once again, this is Gregory Seymour, and this is the crunching of the bugle.
This is Seth again, and this is the pulling the straw.
I don't want to do this anymore. I was like holding my laugh in.
Fucking
Happy April Fools. It's the
April
Esteemed
Fools,
Gentlemen.
everybody.
It's the Esteemed Gentlemen podcast for April 1st. I'm your host, Scott Labrie. Joined alongside me, as always, we have Uncle Teabag, Tyler Sunt.
Yo, what's hanging?
What's hanging, dude?
What's hanging?
And we got all day Eric DeShane here.
Hello.
We didn't know what you were going to do, Eric, and you did not disappoint.
That
You
was
guys
pretty
can
good.
hear that at all, or no?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
We
good,
heard
good.
Oh boy, that was we thought, we were pre-recording this as always, and we realized this is coming down on April 1st, so we had to do a little trickery for you, and hopefully you enjoyed that. Fucking
Yeah.
Tyler with the
Thanks for
bugle,
sticking with
man.
us. Yeah.
I wonder how many people stopped listening after the bugle part
I almost
if I just
lost
threw
it.
their headphones off. Yeah.
But we are going to be serious from here on out, and we have a very serious topic. Well, not super serious, but
Nah, super serious.
Eric, this is your topic. Take it away, my friend.
Oh. Yeah, so like most people nowadays, I rarely watch TV. I mostly watch YouTube for everything. And I follow a lot of mostly creator channels, like lots of carpentry and woodwork channels, blacksmithing, designing and drafting, animation. But one that's always on my subscribes list is cooking channels. Like I watch a ton of Binging with Babish, First We Feast, and like Josh Wiseman, other stuff like that. Just mostly centered around just creating food, which is something that is odd to me because I aren't the greatest cook. So I don't know why I watch it cathartically, just to kind of get better, hopefully one day. But it brought a good point. Like I follow them a lot, and wondering how you guys are when it comes to the culinary arts. Do you guys consider yourself like a cook at all? Like I know I like to consider myself a decent cook, but not the greatest. I don't know.
I'm a pretty good cook, I have to admit. Most people that I've cooked for, they don't really complain too much. I mean, sometimes I overcook a few things here and there, but I mean, I know how to cook pretty much anything. I can look at a recipe and be like, okay, yeah, I can do this or whatever, right? It also comes from experience working at a restaurant when I was 16. I learned actually a lot, and that's when I actually started to really enjoy cooking. Was my mom would cook for the family every night. She was the main one that would do it, and then I mean, if Dad was babysitting us, he'd make craft dinner, or spaghetti or something. But I guess he's pretty good on the barbecue, like the typical dad would be on the barbecue and everything. But so I would come home, or not come home, I guess, after school, and Mom would be like, "Oh, well, why don't you take some of what you've learned at working at BP's and cook something for us?" And I was like, "Well, I guess I could." And then I would make supper, and then I'd make. At first, I kind of screwed up because I know the portions that you make when you're at BP's. You have certain portions of like pasta noodles, certain portions of vegetables that you have to use. A lot of it was weighed, and that's how it works there. So I would just kind of like eyeball it and made whatever, and it turned out actually pretty good because it was different than the run of the mill. Not saying that my mom made run of the mill, but like when you're living in the same house, for 18 years, some of the food gets a little bit repetitive here and there. There's nothing too fancy unless of course you order in or if you get takeout stuff. But yeah, and then first couple meals I made, just the fact that people ate it all and enjoyed it, and knowing that you've done something that people enjoyed, and it makes you feel appreciated. Feel like, you know what, I'm okay with doing this again. Like when I cook for Carly or whoever, and they say, "Oh, supper was great, babe." It's like, okay, well, I guess I'll have to cook tomorrow night then, because that's just, we have a friend, our friend Sharon, she cooks for us all the time because she cooks so well, and I think honestly, she just loves cooking for people, and people enjoying something that you're creating. So
it's such like a cathartic thing too, because like meals, to share a meal and then to share the experience with somebody is so like entwined with our as a species. So it's good to be to someone who's giving you like, oh, try what I've made, it's actually really good, and you see the experience that they made with that. And that's why I've started to enjoy the idea of cooking more often, because I like that idea of cooking something great and sharing with everybody, because if it's really good, I want you to experience this as well, right? So
yeah, exactly.
That's what I've been kind of striving for now, to get better with my idea. But even still, I have a terrible habit of just saying after a whole long day of work and just going to the grind, saying fuck it, just going to go to McDonald's instead, because like it's the thing with I'm having issue with cooking is just having the motivation. Like, well, most things is to have the motivation to do it, right? So it's so easy. It's so easy just to. Yeah, especially now with quarantine and everything else too. I was like, I don't want to go to the shopping mall and get groceries. Just let's go to McDonald's instead, and just that'd be it for the night. It's like
yes,
just still
yeah, and I'm like totally in the same boat as you, Eric. It's like not that I can't cook, because like growing up at home, like if I was put in charge of supper, like I would actually like want to go out of my way, like research a recipe, like make something that's kind of new and different, and my mom would always be like, you should cook more. But it's like the same thing. It's like, I don't want to. It's so much work. And kind of the problem is like, like the coming home is like, done work. I don't want to cook. And unfortunately, when I went to radio school, I ended up like renting a basement suite that didn't have an oven. All it had was a microwave. So basically, like for 9 months I didn't cook anything. Like it was either microwave stuff or like takeout, and that just like totally ruined my habits now, where it's like oh man, I should really cook stuff, but it's just like it's just ingrained to me that like I don't know, like my habits is just to get something that's microwavable, like, or like just frozen pizza or something like that these days. But like I even signed up for skip the dishes because I was like, well, I could do this and I'll actually like cook stuff, and it says it's quick and easy to do, and I'm just like really bad, or maybe I just don't have the tools to do prep fast enough, because it's like, oh, this should take you like 20, 25, 27 minutes or something like that, but like I'm just so bad at prepping the stuff and cutting things. It's like, well, I have like 2 knives in my kitchen and both of them aren't very sharp. So it just takes me forever to prep something. And then it's like, well, it's good at the end, but like, damn, man, that took me freaking hour and a half, 2 hours to eat something. And I'm just like starving. It's like, God, just freaking made I don't know, fish and fries or something,
But that's what I find too with that, like those recipes that say, oh, it's a 20-30 minute recipe and that's it, right? I find I take longer than that, but I find I do that on purpose almost, because my attention and my anxiety kicks in so much. I can't have something on the stove, 2 things on the stove at a time. I can't like concentrate on one thing and have mind on another thing at the same time. That's why I tend to take my things one step at a time and to do it slowly, right? So like I know this to have something in the oven while you're cooking and something else, or cooking something else up, I'll burn what's on the stove, not realizing it, and then panic and like ruin the whole meal. So I tend to take it a little bit slower, and I don't mind that if it's done right and if it tastes good, then I'm happy with that. But still.
Yeah. No, for sure. And a lot of like with the prep and stuff, honestly, like when you start cooking, like when you're just starting to get into it, that's honestly the thing, is the timing is always so hard to get, and that takes lots of practice, and that's all it is. So like when I'm cooking something, like if I'm making stir fry and something else or whatever, something that's in the oven, and it's timed, I'm usually about a minute difference with everything. Like if I'm making pasta and I'm making like garlic toast baked with cheese and then a salad or something like that for us, and sometimes the garlic toast will be done about a minute, 2 minutes before the spaghetti's done being boiled or whatever, right? Or the meat's done frying and stuff like that. But like I said, it's all practice, and then the more you do it,
that's what I want to continue. It's more practice. That's all it really takes to get better at it. So
exactly, and like what you were saying about with the with the quick meals and stuff like that.
Mm.
When you're by yourself, I've noticed that when I was single, it's like, well, what's the point of doing something fancy if it's just for me, right? There's no point. But if I get home, and got Carly and got Leia and everything too, and it's just like, okay, well, we're gonna make Leia hers and then Carly mine too, and it's just like it's almost like robotic. You just do it and whatever, right? Like, hey, what do I have? Okay, we got this. All right, I'll make this, and okay, we got vegetables, we've got this, and we got a meat group. Okay, let's do that, and then done deal. But yeah.
What's your favorite thing to cook?
Something that's quick and easy. Well, I think my favorite thing to cook, the thing that I'm the best at cooking. Well, there's a bit of a backstory to this one. I discovered the French onion soup as a young guy back in the day. I was trying to think of a better word than young guy, but I couldn't. When the pizza restaurant Town UFO Pizza had first opened, I think it was. I remember my grandmother had taken me and my brothers there for supper one night, and they had a French onion soup. And my grandma ordered it. I'm pretty sure that's the night that I tried it for the first time. And then I remember she ordered that, and we got our pizza and stuff. And then her onion soup came, and I was like, "Oh man, that smells so good! Like really garlicky and like beef broth, the onions and the thick cheese, like melted and charbroiled, nice." And then she's like, "Oh, you want to try some?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll try it." And it was just like instant. I was in love with this. This was like the best thing I have ever tasted in my entire life. Ever since then, ever since UFO changed hands, I've been striving to find that perfect onion soup ever since. And the only one that I was ever close to finding it was making it myself. And that's the only time I've ever come close to tasting that delectably delicious meal. It's incredible. So French onion soup, that takes a lot of prep. If you want to do it correctly, with the caramelizing the onions, and you put butter in the pan, and then you got the right wine sauce, you got the beef broth, the onions sometimes, like even when I worked at the restaurant, if you're going to make onion soup, you want to cook the onions, caramelize them, put them in the broth, and let it sit for a day or two and let it ferment and absorb all the flavor. Like the flavor changes over time, and it's better like the next day. So like when I make it, obviously I make it because I want to eat it like that night, like right away, right? So it's not quite as flavorful, I guess, or as thick. But that's probably my favorite is that one.
That's the one thing I find too that's definitely underrated when it comes to cooking is like letting things rest and absorb. Like that's growing up, we've always like got lots of fresh food, lots of fresh meals all the time. But again, like I remember eating steak like right off the grill and just like eating it fresh. Well, no, I've learned that if you let it rest for 10, 15 minutes, it gets even more juicy and more tender and more flavorful. So that's one thing. That's one thing I've learned to like if you have the patience for it, let it rest. Some meals can just change your whole outlook on how they're made and everything else. Yeah. So.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And the one thing I've been practicing with, and one I've always loved, and one thing I always love to make is just basic hamburgers. And ever since looking at recipes for it, I've wanted to make what's called smash burgers. It's really small, thin, pressed down on the grill, cooked fast smash burgers, and that's all mostly just technique, not so much just prepping. It's how you do it on the stove and everything else with that. So that's one thing I've been trying to improve because I love, like I look at like recipes to make like the Five Guys burger or like the what's that one in California? In-N-Out, which like those ones there. I'm like, oh, those look awesome. I can't. We don't have them around here, so if you can't have it, then might as well make it, right? So that's what I've been striving for is to make stuff like that. So that's my go-to right now. I would say that's the one thing I can make comfortably is a good smash burger, and I'm proud of that. So
make some next time you come over.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome. I'll make onion soup as an appetizer.
you can have that. So
what?
No.
You don't like soup?
Well, that's another topic. Scott, do you have anything at all, or
I mean, like cereal? No.
Hey, it requires ingredients, so it's not wrong.
And
1%.
Like if I'm like trying to be like fancy, and if I were to try and impress somebody, the one thing I kind of like make is it's like a pesto chicken breast. Ooh. Which is like you just take, it's real freaking easy, by the way. You take chicken breast, you put them in like a little glass pan, You take your pesto sauce just off the friggin' shelf if you want. Drizzle a bunch of it on each breast. Get like the fancy mozzarella cheese, not just like the shitty pizza mozzarella cheese, but like the fancy stuff from the deli. You cut that up, put it on, like cover each kind of breast with like kind of big chunks, and then do like 2 or 3 tomato slices on each of those 2, and then you bake them in the oven, and then you use the rest of your pesto sauce, and you just make like spaghetti or linguine or whatever, and you just dump that in there, and there you go. Easy peasy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wanted to say too, like you said, onions. Scott to me was saying onions. What's one food that you guys still hate? don't like to eat at all? Like for me, it's still onions. It's a hit and miss thing for me very much. Like fresh onion soup, I have no appetite for at all.
I love onions.
I love onions. I love raw onions on a burger. I love raw onions in a salad. But something with the wet, soggy onions, not
like
for me.
A grilled onion you don't like?
A grilled onion I'll have. It's just like I don't know. It's certain aspects of it. I'm not too sure. I love crunchy. I guess that's why. So
you like the crunch?
I like the crunch more than anything else. Yeah. So.
Sure. See, that's like mushrooms for me. I love mushrooms,
Mm-hmm.
but I could never eat a raw fresh mushroom. That would be yeah.
I'm the opposite. I'm the absolute opposite.
Like soggy and spongy and rubbery. That's oh yeah, that's where it's at, man. Yeah, throw out the frying pan, sprinkle some garlic salt on it, saute that. Oh,
like I've matured enough to be like, if it's in a meal, like, and I didn't prep it, I will still eat it. I'm not going to be that picky and just be that offense. Like to me, to say that I don't want it because it has something I didn't make it and it has something that I don't like. That's just offensive. That's just inappropriate, right? So I know people. Oh yeah, so eat, like someone made me a nice like steak and onions or whatever else, I would still eat it and still enjoy it because it's they worked for that. Why would I be insulting and say I don't want that because it has onions in it or has mushrooms in it? Like no, it's
yeah, I hate mushrooms. all forms of mushrooms. And yes, like if somebody were to serve me a dish and like that's why this has got mushrooms, I'm not gonna like refuse it. But if they're big enough and I can pick them out, I'm gonna be picking them out. Like sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Like that, I wouldn't actually take offense to that. If I made something that had big mushrooms in it, I'd just say, put them to the side. I'll eat them. I don't care. Coronavirus. YOLO. Whatever, man.
Yeah. Oh, that's one thing.
I mean, if they're small enough, then it's like, yeah, fine. I'll suffer through them. It's more like a texture thing a lot of times with mushrooms.
Yeah. For me, it's certain types of cheese and what form they're in, for sure. I have a very complicated relationship with cheese. Well, I love cheese, like baked mozzarella, but like raw, like freshly grated cheddar, that makes me want to gag just thinking about it.
Really?
Smell and that hard, nasty, like zesty smell. Oh God! Like if it
wow.
Now, but I've matured to the point now, like you say. I'm an esteemed gentleman now. I can I can stomach it. Like if I get a hamburger and like I used to freak out at a drive-through, like, okay, I want a hamburger. The definition of a hamburger is just the patty and all the condiments, but no cheese. It's just a hamburger. Okay. And what do? They give me a fucking cheeseburger. And I'm like, go back in there and just whip it right at them. Like, one job, my order down, exactly as I say. Now I'm just like, I look at it, I'm like, fucking bastards, and I just eat it angrily. I'm like, whatever, my time, and I move on with my life. And it's like, it's not that bad, I guess. I mean, you still noticed it, that nasty. I don't know. And if it gets like stuck to the roof of your mouth, it's even worse. Trying to like peel it off with your tongue, and you're just like, but yeah, cheese.
Really? Wow. Yeah, so that'd be one thing you'd be all for, really. Oh, okay.
No, like baked mozzarella. Is totally fine if it's on pizza, if it's on a lasagna, baked spaghetti, stuff like that. But if it's like if it's shredded, like you can buy the shredded or a block of mozzarella without it being baked, get away from me.
Like a mozzarella cheese string, you're like, nope.
Oh way, no
wow.
way. No thanks. No, thank you.
I never would have guessed.
Yeah.
I don't I don't like mushrooms, but it's definitely not like to the point where I'm not gagging thinking about it like you are with cheddar cheese and stuff.
Cheddar cheese, yeah.
God, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting thinking too, like how better people are at cooking, like just because of thankfully, like of the internet and stuff, everybody's like able to look up, recipes, and now like Food Network is like a huge thing, and like YouTube channels and all this other stuff. So it's like around the world, everybody's like food game is like stepped up like so dramatically compared to like people of the 1990s or something like that, right?
That is so true. Because prime example, it's like, oh, I want to make an apple crisp, but I don't have butter. Oh, you can use this instead, or you can use whatever and still make it. Here's the ingredients that you need for this, and it tells you exactly how to make it. And you can literally just have your phone set there, just scroll up, Kate, 5 cups of flour, Kate, do that, Kate, scroll up, and you got it, right? And you're an accomplished chef now,
right?
Well, I know with me too as well. I'm very much a visual learner, not so much like the I can't read the recipe and get it right away. If I watch someone make it though with the same recipe, like, oh, that's how that works. I understand it now. Now I'm more comfortable in the idea of making it, right? So that's one thing I think that's made me the idea of being a better cook is watching someone else cook it as well, right? So to see their steps involved in their process.
Yeah, for sure. Especially if you see the progress that it's supposed to be.
Exactly. It's like, is this right? I think, or did I put that in right? Did I follow the recipe correctly? Because I remember one time I followed a recipe to make chocolate cake, and I don't know how I screwed it up, but it deflated so fast it turned into brownies. I'm like, well, I tried, but I fucked up. But yeah. Oh well, I'll try and try again, I guess. And yeah, so
baking is a whole different thing too, man. Honestly, getting my cookies, I've perfected the absolute best white chocolate and macadamia cookies. The same ones. I wanted them to be just like the ones you get at Subway.
Oh yeah, that's a tough order. Yeah,
that took a while to get it just right. Where it's like it's not quite too soft and it's not crunchy, but it's like it's chewy, and you kind of like pull it apart, and it's just like gooey.
And worst part too is like my mom, who's a very old fashioned cook. She's a great cook, but it's all like there's no recipes involved. It's all like, oh, I just kind of eyeballed it. I'm like, well, yeah, but I can't really do that. I'm very much more of a recipe to I don't want to fuck it up, right? So,
well, she's been doing it for how many kids?
Exactly, right?
Your guys' family is always coming over, so she has to have stock of all this stuff.
So she's like, oh, let's use the 4-H cookbook and go through that. I'm like, oh man, like I don't know how you can just like think to whip it up and just know your ingredients offhand. I'm like, I'm envious of that. But I mean, that's exactly right. She does it her whole life. So yeah.
Oh, for sure.
No, it's one thing I want to add to my repertoire of experience for sure is be a better cook. So
yeah.
I just want to be rich enough that I don't have to cook ever again.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. You guys I'm not lazy like that, I guess.
Oh man, like that's just one less thing I have to do. That'd be awesome. I want to do absolutely nothing by the time I'm settled.
I'd go crazy.
Just sit here and do podcasts and go to bed and watch TV.
I hate prepping the food. Like once it's all good and like it's in the pan and all that stuff, it's like cool. I'm cooking stuff. I'm like Chef Ramsay. Boom. That's fine. It's the before the prep. I hate that, and it's the freaking dishes after. God,
I was gonna say next
so much too. It's like that's another thing. It's like why I hate cooking. It's just like now I gotta clean up all this crap. Like not even worth it.
Oh, for sure. It's like when I get home and it's like, Kate, I want to make this, and it's like, oh, I don't have this dish or this cutlery. I look in the sink. It's like, fuck it, frozen pizza tonight.
That's my one thing to get over as well is the bitch work is important as well. They take the good and the bad when it comes to all that, right? So yeah, exactly. And unfortunately, dishes are very much bitch work.
Well, that was one of the perks of actually cooking when we were younger, because mom would cook and us boys, we would do the dishes. One person cleared the table, one person washed, one person dried, and then the other whatever helped with something else or whatever. So that's why I was like, okay, I'll cook. That way you don't have to do dishes or clean up anything. You just make the food and you're done. That's it.
Yep.
That's a good trade-off. But when it's just
now when it's just you, it's like, oh.
Yep. I got to do all the things.
Pretty soon Leia will do the dishes for you there. But
yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. She'll want to do all the cooking.
Yeah.
Damn it, she's learning.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm trying to think of what else here. Off the top of your head, what's the best fast food meal?
Oh, fast food meal.
Like, well, yeah.
Five Guys.
Yeah.
It's so freaking good. Like,
That's the thing, though. I love Five Guys, but they are so expensive. Like $18 for a burger and fries.
yeah.
It's like,
But
but it's worth it. You get a lot of fries, and the burgers are phenomenal.
Burger's phenomenal, and it's like, I'll get a large fries, and then like, okay, here's like a McDonald's cup, like
Full of fries.
McDonald's cups. They take the fries, they scoop it, then dump it in the bag, and then they scoop it again, and then put that in the bag. It's like, holy shit, man! And it's like, you can never eat all the fries, but those are even good. And then like, while you're waiting for your burgers, like, you want some peanuts? It's like, not really, but okay.
Right.
Elbow deep in a bag of peanuts while waiting for your burger.
Yeah. For me, it's gonna be Fat Burger. I think.
I never had that yet.
Oh man, first time I tried it, it was after I went to get a colonoscopy. I had been fasting for 24 hours.
Oh man,
I was starving, like so bad. We stopped in. I think it was Fort Saskatchewan had one there, and we went in, and I was like, "Kate, I'm spending my money on all the things." I got the it was the bacon barbecue burger. It was gigantic, and it's all like the patties are pretty much raw. They're like ready to go, and they're thick too, like huge Angus burgers. And then their poutine, they had the lumberjack poutine. So basically, it's amazing, thinner, a little bit thinner fries, but not like super crunchy or anything. The gravy is almost like a chicken gravy, so it's a little saltier, which I like. I like the chicken gravy a lot more. Sautéed onions in little squares and strips of thick, juicy, chewy bacon on top of it, and then the cheese on top. It was incredible. $35 with
holy crap.
Insane, like so much food. Honestly, like I could have gotten by with half a burger and that was it. I would have been, satisfied, but I ate the whole thing. I'm just like, almost comatose. It was so good. And whenever I go to Lloyd too, it's either that or Arby's. I go to Fat Burger or Arby's. Arby's was always my go-to. That's probably my dad's fault, because when we used to go to the city together, we'd stop at Arby's, get the big roast beef burgers, Arby's sauce, hose it down, and curly fries. Oh, that's good stuff too.
Definitely a treat yourself kind of burger. Yeah, for $35. My God.
Yeah, it was like 30 something, I think.
Damn.
Yeah, and if you don't leave a tip, they don't ring the bell, because they'll if you leave a tip, they ring this bell and they're like, fat tip. And they're like, thank you. I'm like, oh my God, don't make a show, you guys. It's kind of tacky, but it's kind of cool. It's like, fat tip. And I'm like, that's right. Respect. Yeah. It's good stuff, man.
What's the worst fast food burger ever? Worst fast food thing ever?
Oh boy, McDonald's.
Oh yeah,
I gotta keep going.
What? McDonald's is great.
Be more specific, because come on, dude. Yeah, we all want McDonald's.
It's not the worst.
Burger King's trash.
I've never eaten at Burger King.
I haven't had Burger King in a long time. Like, I don't know.
The worst.
It's cheap, but you can get fucking.
See, and I would say
for $1.50 there.
I had never had a good experience with Arby's, and that's why I would say they're the worst. But like you say that you like them a lot. But I've never had a good burger or anything there. I had it all the time when I lived in Edmonton, and now I haven't had it in years. I'm like, I don't miss it. I don't. Yeah.
Oh, Arby's is the absolute best, man. I've never had a bad experience at Arby's. I really don't like or have been to a good like a KFC. That's not really a burger place,
but no, it's still food. It's still fast food.
Yeah, and it's just it's so disgustingly greasy, and you feel kind of shitty after. Kind of like after you eat McDonald's, but McDonald's is just like, oh yeah, as you're eating it, and then when you're done, you're like, oh no. But even when you're eating the KFC stuff, I don't know, their popcorn chicken's okay.
Yeah.
But then after you have something like Mary Brown's,
it's not comparable.
Popeyes, it's not even comparable. It's probably it's probably KFC is probably the worst fast food place. Yeah, it could also just be the places that I've went. The one in town.
Yeah, that's why I would say Arby's, because I've gone to multiple ones and I've never had a good one. A good sandwich, a good experience there, nothing at all. No. So
when you have yourself like a triple decker roast beef sandwich with Arby's sauce, you basically take the bun off the top, put a packet of Arby's sauce on there, take about a third of the meat off the top, put another packet in there, and then another one. And just the sauce and the meat in the bun, and that's it. It is to die for. My mouth is literally watering thinking.
I think the bad one to have at nighttime. Yeah, now we're all hungry.
I know I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Not a fast food burger, but okay, I'm like one to say that there's no such thing as a bad burger, because like even like gas station burgers, I'm like, yeah, those are fucking amazing. But when I was in Saskatoon, I ordered skip the dishes from one place called Twisted Monkey, and they had this burger that was like had bacon, cheese, banana peppers, and like chipotle kind of sauce on there, which is very similar to Footprints in Uncle Point. They're closed now, but they had this burger called the Hot Tamale Burger, and it was like the best burger to date that I think I've ever had. Maybe that's just nostalgia thing coming into it, but and there's like similar ingredients on there. So I saw that the Twisted Monkey had this burger, so oh man, I'll try this for sure. And the burger was like a sad meatloaf. It was like dried out, kind of burnt, and it's just like, man, how do you screw up a cheeseburger? Like that's
oh no,
shame on them. Shame on them.
That sucks. Maybe it was just a one-time thing. Maybe.
Yeah, because they had like decent reviews. It was like 4 stars out of 5. It's like, oh, that's not bad, but fuck.
It's been
Wrong guy working that day, I guess.
I guess so. Yeah.
Well, there you go. Any last thoughts here, gentlemen?
No.
I'm just really hungry now.
Yep. Yeah, and I'm starving. Yeah.
What'd you guys have for supper tonight?
I had actually something healthy for once. I had a chicken Caesar salad. I made myself here. Yeah, so that's why I'm like, I should talk about food, because for once I'm starting to change my diet. So yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, so
I made nachos with the vegan beef, because you don't actually have to cook it. It cuts down prep time, like we talked about. You just take that stuff, you sprinkle it on the nachos. I put some peppers on there and some green onions and a boatload of mozzarella cheese. Baked it. Yep.
You need some jalapenos on there, man.
Yeah, I mean that's too heavy for me.
Really?
It's not that I don't like. It's not that I don't like them. It's just
you
I can't
stomach them. Yeah.
No, I start sniveling and lips puff up and eyes watering. Yep, I do it.
Right on. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's gonna do it for today's episode. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed today's episode, like and subscribe here on YouTube. Share with your friends as always. And we'll be back here to chat with you tomorrow for the weekly wrap-up. We'll see you then.
See ya.
See you guys tomorrow.